Hey Frugivore, I'm Freelee. Welcome back to Frugivore Diet Channel. So today's video, we are going to finally react to Abbey-not-so-sharp.
This girl's crazy.
She's particularly not so sharp in this video, where she actually reacts to my video that I made, essentially on the Frugivore diet, doing a what I ate in a day back in like 2013.
I mean, this girl probably will never go out on a date because who the fuck wants to sit with a girl who's just going to be eating a blender-size smoothie?
She did this video in 2018. This was her starting point on YouTube, basically. This just skyrocketed her immediately. You can see the difference in her views, and it was one of her most popular videos for a long time. So she copied my format, she used my format, and used me basically to, get out there. And that would be okay if it was actually a positive message, but it's not, as you're going to see. And some of the things she says are just plain old embarrassing. I'm like, Abby, what are you even talking about?
They're really just carbs. There's no protein. There's no fats in there.
And so anyway, if you want to see more of these videos, give it a thumbs up or a thumbs down. Just do something if you want to see more of them. And by the way, this is a 50-cent top. This is literally 50 cents from the secondhand store. So I think I did pretty well, right? Thought I'd wear something a little bit different, a little bit brighter. So anyway, if you want to see more of these videos, give it a thumbs up or thumbs down. Just do something if you want to see more of them. All right, let's get into it. Let's see what Abbey Sharp thinks about my drug-free, essentially supplement-free, fruit-based, whole food, healthy diet. Okay, Frugivore, here we are on Abbey Sharp's YouTube channel. Unfortunately, it is gaining in subscribers, 404,000 subscribers. And this video is her first one on me. This is a video that really got Abby her big break, basically copying my style of reacting to videos. And it's had 840,000 views in 3 years. She uploaded this in basically 2018 February, 23,000 likes, 5,000 dislikes. Look, I know there's a lot of individuals that are hating on me and the message out there because they don't want to step up. They don't want to step up and do this. And this video was definitely one of her top hitting videos for a long time. It gave her that big break, unfortunately. But anyway, it's about time that we actually respond to it, right? It's been long enough. Let's get into it.
Hey guys, I'm Abbey Sharp. Welcome to Abby's Kitchen.
Hey, Abby.
So as you know, I love sharing my what I eat in a day videos with you. But today I thought we would switch things up a little bit, and I'm going to be taking a peek inside the diet of one of the most infamous YouTubers out there, Freelee the Banana Girl. Now, this girl is like totally whack. I think we've already established this because myself and Abby Langer actually tried one of her smoothies that she shares on her YouTube channel, and it was just bananas. I mean, bananas. That was a smoothie. This girl's crazy. Like,
wow. Wow, so the character attacks come in from the get-go. This is from a dietitian calling another woman on YouTube just crazy. Isn't she meant to be a professional? I mean, that's not an argument, Abby. That's just a character assassination. That's like ad hominem. You're not bringing any actual valuable information when you're calling someone crazy. So it's crazy to eat just bananas as a human frugivore, which is an incredibly healthy food, by the way. But it's not crazy to eat a plate with decomposing flesh.
Today I've partnered with Maple Lodge Farms, who sponsored this video, to bring you 3 easy, low-carb, high-protein, keto-friendly snacks.
He's going to save me some serious prep time in the kitchen by butchering up an entire gorgeous animal.
At 11 months old, these are the sorts of meals she recommends.
All these like super processed cakes and sweets that she eats. That's completely balanced. Foods that are made by humans basically in a lab, that's normal and balanced and fine, and eating animals. But, when you eat bananas, you're crazy. Seriously.
Actually, bananas. That's basically the only way I can describe her. So we're going to take a little peek here to see what else this girl is eating all day.
Oh, she got a lot of attitude in this one, hasn't she? She has definitely toned that down because she's got schooled a lot since then. Yeah, let's see what she has to say.
Go free, Jason.
Hey Fruit Bats, it's Freelee the Banana Girl here. Welcome to another episode. Today is What I Eat Wednesdays. So I'm going to go through everything that I eat today with you, starting with breakfast.
$12.
So Abby is just eating dry old popcorn there. Like, obviously it's probably symbolic, got the popcorn out. $12.
Oh my God. You buy a lot of stuff for $12. That is not exactly looking like a good deal there just for one meal. I mean, how this woman would ever sustain having a family on $12 per person a day? Hang
on. So obviously children would eat less. It wouldn't be like $12 for the little ones. And this is obviously one day and one meal. And we haven't seen the whole day how much it's going to cost, have we? This is just one meal. And I find this very hypocritical when Abbey Sharp is going to restaurants, cafes all the time. She shows it. She's having fancy coffee. I don't take supplements, okay? She takes supplements. She spends a lot of extra unnecessary money on what she puts in her gob. Okay, I don't have coffee. I don't go to cafes and restaurants and spend hundreds of dollars like she does on these fancy desserts. You know, I actually have fruit. I have whole foods, you know, so I don't go and binge out like she does. You see what I mean? I can guarantee she spends more on food and drugs than I do. Okay, guarantee it. And that she, over the course of a year, spends way more for her family on her processed junk food diet.
Combo before, but I thought, hey, I can try it with you guys. We can give this a shot. I think it's going to be really nice. It's 1.5 litres of orange juice with a bag of mixed berries. So these berries.
Yeah,
and
delicious.
I squeezed this earlier. It took me quite a while, but I love fresh orange juice. There's nothing better, really. So we got the berries, and we got the OJ, and we just pour that in.
Yes.
Holy.
Pour that in.
She's swearing
Okay,
a lot.
I can't even like concentrate on what she's doing because there's this like strange montage of her doing these weird namaste ballet squats in the corner. I mean, like dinner and a show. It's pretty f***ed up.
What? Did she just say it's pretty fucked up? This is like some sort of comedy act, I think, at this point. Yeah, I was doing 100 squats in 100 days. I don't see anything wrong with actually promoting a healthy exercise like squatting. That's strange that she would focus on that, right? Isn't this meant to be about my diet? Abby, we need to get you on a fruit-based diet. I know that's the last thing you think you want to do or you need, but that's what you need. And I recommend my books. I recommend Go Fruit Yourself. I lost 40 pounds on this lifestyle. As you can see, lean, fit, and healthy. I am 41 soon, and I think I'm like 7 or 8 years older than you. And this is the way that you are going to feel and look your best. Essentially, like Raw Till 4 is going to be the best. So don't waste any more time. Try this lifestyle. Raw Till 4, Go Fruit Yourself. All my 3 books and My Naked Lunchbox, you can get them for a very awesome discounted rate. All my life's work and change your life forever starting today. A link to the ebooks in the description below, and you can download them instantly.
And not to mention, that's like a lot of oranges. The fact that she squeezed an entire blender worth of oranges, that's like an orange tree worth of citrus fruit there. I've never seen that much juice squeezed before. So
yes, because you're used to the mainstream propaganda. You can only have a glass of juice. You can only have a glass of orange juice. That's all you're allowed. As a human frugivore, you can only have a glass of orange juice, but you can have all this wartime stuff. You can have all this like, dry toast. You can eat eggs, like reptile food. You can have all this stuff that's not meant to go in your body, but you're a frugivore, but you can only have a glass of your actual, human designed food. It's just so incredibly crazy. That's the best combo, by the way, orange juice and the berries. Try it. Oh, you will not go back. It is insanely good. Sure, it seems like a lot because we need to actually get in a lot of fructose and glucose and fiber and water because we are hydrated, high carb animals. That's just our design. And I just find it really unacceptable that a dietitian is like shaming another woman for eating sufficient calories when she claims to be all about like, oh, I don't want women to have ED. Well, you are going to give women ED by saying stuff like this. I'm fueling myself sufficiently, my glycogen stores. I don't have drugs or coffee. And she's coming along saying, oh my gosh, like you are just like overeating. This is ridiculous. It's like, I'm not having drugs, sister. I'm having actual real food. Try it.
I'm going to take a guess and say that's a good over a dozen oranges right there for one person.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm curious to see what she's going to do with this now.
Look, I don't know if you can see, but it's pretty good. It looks beautiful. It really looks beautiful. Then we blend the blender.
The blender.
She's so catty. She's so catty.
Okay, I can't handle the dancing. And why the fuck is she wearing gloves inside? I think,
Wow.
That's weird. Isn't she Australian? This is strange to me.
Okay, I know where she gets that from because this is what Abbey Sharp does. I mean, like that was completely rude and irrelevant to, my diet. But look, I know what she does. She goes to the comment section of my video and she just regurgitates like the negative comments. That's what she does. She's not original at all. I can tell. I've been at this a very long time. That's what they do. They go to the comments of the video. They're like, is this getting like hate? How popular is the individual? And then she gauges herself in accordance with that. If the individual seems like they're popular in the mainstream, then she will be really nice to them, really friendly. She'll be really friendly to them. But if they're controversial like me and she can see that and I get a lot of hate, then she will adjust and also give me that instead of just being like genuine and authentic. It's just, she's very, very transparent, easy to work out.
Oh, look at that colour. Look at that beautiful colour.
Yeah.
Very, very vibrant.
Vibrant.
She just said it looks nice and vibrant.
And I have made my vase into a glass because I just can't find the glass big enough to satisfy me.
Oh, no shit.
Worse than like
No.
drinking this.
There's no glass in the world that's going to satisfy Freelee's appetite,
Yeah.
apparently.
Jamming to it.
Yes. I mean, that's what it takes to be your best. I mean, you can just be propped up on synthetic supplements like Abby and drugs from burnt coffee beans. You can live that life if you want and just be depressed, have low energy, bad digestion, as she has admitted. Or you can be high energy, lean, vibrant, and just basically killing it in life, feeling and looking your best. It's your choice. And it takes a vase. It takes a glass the size of a vase to make that happen.
Refill a little cup over and over and over again. I sometimes drink out of the blender too, but it's been hard to grab. So.
Yes. La 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 la.
When your breakfast doesn't even fit into a damn flower vase and you still have like half a smoothie to go, you probably have overdone it on the portion size.
Wow. So that's unacceptable as a dietitian. She can see that I am lean. Okay. She can see in the video that I'm not overeating or anything. My body is lean. I'm fit. And she's shaming a normal size, a healthy size individual, female, into reducing her portion sizes. Like I don't know where to start with Abby. I don't know. She obviously does not get water and fiber. The water and fiber content of whole foods. She needs to get to know whole foods. She is clueless when it comes to whole foods. Like, Abby, do you realize that like when there's water and fiber, which is a large component on fruits and vegetables, that then you're going to have more volume. You're having around like a similar amount of calories, like to the average individual, but you're just having more, you get to eat more. You get to eat more volume for your calories. It's not concentrated, dry, wartime food like you're eating. How did she not get this very simple concept?
Hey folks, I'm out and about and I need some fast food. And the ultimate fast food is bananas. So I'm having a banana meal of 9 bananas. Check it out.
Haha, good.
And I will see you next meal.
That is the sketchiest f***ing meal of life. 9 browned bananas sitting on...
I actually kind of find this quite funny. I don't know. I think she's quite funny. I think she's more entertaining than she is now.
a hot Australian car seat. Not exactly appetizing, like totally sad meal right there. And
by the way, the seat is not hot. I don't know why she would think it was hot. It is not a hot seat. And bananas are fantastic for your health. I mean, it's a whole food, Abby. It's not how I eat every day. Bananas aren't my favorite food. That doesn't mean you have to eat bananas every day just because I had 9 at this meal. It's just what I did that day. It's one day.
not to mention, you're not going to for days, so that doesn't sound like much fun.
You're not going to shit for days. Did she really just say that? Hang on a second. I don't know what's going on here. Honey, yes, that's the whole like beauty. That's part of the beauty of this lifestyle is that you have amazing fruity dumps. They are amazing. Okay. They're big, they're regular and very, very satisfying. Okay. Why would you prefer to have that sitting in your gut for days like Abbey Sharp, maybe for weeks? She maybe has some of the same food in there for weeks. I'm telling you. I have a feeling she probably has coffee to, make herself go because she's not having enough fiber and water because she doesn't get whole food. She doesn't realize that she needs a lot of bulk as a human frugivore with a long gut, with a long intestinal tract. You need that. Okay. This is healthy and you need to extend the stomach wall so you're satiated. But what she's doing is eating these dry torpedo forming foods. Trust me, I know my poops are far better than Abbey Sharp's. That is for sure.
And yes, bananas are super healthy for you. They're packed with potassium and fiber and vitamins and minerals. But 9 of them? That has over 100 grams of sugar right there for your...
Sister, it has over 200 grams of sugar if you actually knew your stuff. And that is fantastic. You are a high sugar being. Like, how does this not make sense? How does this not make sense? Like, if your body and your brain runs on glucose, literally runs on sugar, then why would you not be consuming meals that are high in carbohydrates, high in glucose and fructose? She's not making sense. These are the foods that are most easily converted into our brain and body fuel. All these other things that she eats are incredibly difficult to digest and to derive glucose and energy from.
Mono meal for your little snack, your little quick fix. I mean, no. I enjoy going to the bathroom every once in a while. I don't know about you, Freelee, but...
Every once in a while. Did you hear that one? Every once in a while, exactly, because that's probably how often it's happening. Abby, I guarantee I'm going to the toilet more than you are. And it's a pleasurable experience. 2 to 3 times pooping in a day gives you an incredibly flat stomach. Okay. It gives you a great lean abdominal area. And that's what a lot of individuals are after, right? And I just get that effortlessly, by eating this way. It's so easy to maintain a lean, flat belly. You've seen me over the years. And my blood tests are excellent. So Abby, where are your blood tests? Request that Abby puts her blood tests up because she puts herself out there as a professional. We know she's not, she's just a foodie, but she puts herself out there as a dietitian. She doesn't even have blood tests online. Like, the proof is in the banana pudding. I have my blood tests up. Abby doesn't have her blood tests up. I have excellent results. She takes supplements. She's on drugs. Like, she has processed food all the time. She's not eating how she should be as a human frugivore.
Moving. Right, let's see dinner.
$7. She doesn't comment on this because she's spending more money on a dinner. She is eating out all the time. She is often spending, probably $70 or more on dinner. $70 or more on dinner. I just spent $7 there. So she's very, very, very sneaky there, right? Like, she doesn't comment on that one. Why?
Smoothie is going to be pears. I have about 10 pears in there. And I'm also going to add some dates. So let's get to it. So here we have the 10 pears. 10 pears goes in the blender now.
That amount of pears on that platter there, it looks like what you would serve at a banquet hall for an...
So you can see how this is quite triggering for someone who is like, coming from ED, like myself. It's not for me, okay. But I mean from others who are coming from ED. And then they're trying to eat enough, they're trying to nourish themselves as a human frugivore. And then you have this dietitian putting out this message of it's too much, you're overeating. You can see how that can cause individuals to restrict again, right? So she is actually really, really like out of line here, especially for a professional who claims to care about diet culture and women eating enough and ED. No, she doesn't. She is just faking it. Okay. And she's shaming those who are actually trying to nourish themselves correctly and not be dependent on drugs like her. You see what I'm saying? Like, this is what it takes to stay away from drugs as a frugivore. You need to fuel yourself enough. I'm filling up my glycogen stores. I'm saying no to coffee. And she's just sitting there eating a dry, concentrated wartime food. Like,
entire wedding party of like 200 people as like a nice little fruit plate. That is an excessive amount of pears going in. I thank God she chose pears to counteract all the bananas because at least pears help you.
Well, I can't believe that what she's saying. I'm really like, this fear propaganda against people having whole food. You see what's happening here? This is embarrassing for her. Like, this is whole food. Yeah, it's blended, but it's like whole food. It has everything retained in the smoothie. I'm so shocked. Like, pears are amazing. Pears are a great source of like zinc, potassium, vitamin C, B vitamins, vitamin E, iron, like lots of minerals. It's incredibly healthy. and so are all fruits. But Abbey not so sharp strikes again.
When those bananas are making you backed up. So she's got something right, but again, way too many. Let's keep watching.
Oh gosh. Who is she to tell me that it's too much fruit, that I'm eating too much whole food? Like, it's too much. That's not an argument saying it's too much. What's the problem with it? Where's your argument? Bring some facts here. She just sits there eating a class 1 carcinogens, the fake sugar, the hydrogenated veggie oils, animal bits and pieces, artificial food colorings and flavors. And she's having a go at me for eating whole food from nature. Insanity, right? Let's see your blood test, Abby.
Here we have just pear. I don't think I'm going to put any berries or any dates or anything in it because this is looking pretty good. It's really, really nice. And the good thing about like a mono meal is that you get to taste the full flavour spectrum. You don't have any other conflicting flavours or anything like that. You just get to appreciate that one fruit, and it's really, really satisfying.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, it's satisfying. It's 10 pears.
There she goes again, shaming on the amount of food that I'm eating. Unacceptable that when there are women walking around with ED, coming from ED, trying to nourish themselves correctly, trying to eat enough. And that's what I'm very passionate about because I've come from this myself, and because I was eating an essentially unbalanced diet like she recommends. It's balanced to eat from nature. Whole foods are naturally balanced within themselves. Okay, so Abby is just like, she's recommending things like class 1 carcinogens, and animal bits and pieces that cause heart disease, diabetes, cancer, arthritis, osteoporosis, like all of these debilitating conditions for the human frugivore. But whole foods are a big no.
And there's nothing wrong with just enjoying the flavor of a pear. But the key word, the operative word here is a pear.
Well, again, a pear. Don't you dare have more than one pear. Wow. Shame.
Pear. You don't need 10 of them to figure out what a pear tastes like.
Wow.
Not to mention, a smoothie of pear? That sounds like pulpy water to me.
Okay, it might sound like that, but it's absolutely delicious. If you get good pears, it is really, really yummy. And I know it's different to what people are used to. I know this lifestyle is. And that's because we live in a sick world where individuals are just propped up on big pharma, just having medication, supplements like Abby, caffeine. These are not foods. If you want to actually be your healthiest, look your best, then you have to eat food, real food, so you stay away from these things that are non-foods and drugs.
And not just not that interested. I'm honestly sick of watching her drink smoothies.
Wow.
Like my poor little bladder is just aching right now. So, girl.
She's used to being dehydrated. If you want great skin, if you want, aging that is actually what you're meant to rather than accelerated from animal bits and pieces and dry food, then eat like this. Seriously. The proof is in the banana and the pear pudding.
Put some damn protein in there. All right, before we get to that next meal, because I'm scared to see it, I want to talk a little bit about smoothies, or her idea of a smoothie, which to me is really just blended up fruit. But first of all, they're not nutritionally balanced in her case.
What?
They're really just carbs. There's no protein. There's no fats in there.
Wow. Did she really just say that? There's no protein and there's no fats in there. Hang on, let me go and put it into Chronometer. Yes, it has fats and protein. For some reason, Abby is not so sharp. Well, we know that, right? Abby not so sharp, yes. She doesn't realize that whole foods contain fats and protein, amino acids and fatty acids. Like, it's just so crazy. Like, all whole foods contain fats and proteins. She just said they have nothing. Like, is she, what?
Not to mention the social aspect. I mean, this girl probably will never go out on a date because who the fuck wants to sit with a girl who's just going to be eating a blender-size smoothie? It's just not going to happen. Sorry, really. I don't know about your dating life, but I would say that's not looking good for you.
Wow. Okay. So, at the time I was dating, okay, I was actually socializing as well. I mean, the Raw to 4 Fruit Festival, was one of the biggest festivals in, the vegan community. It was huge, okay? And it was so enjoyable. And we just loved socializing with each other because it's like, yes, finally individuals who are educated and realize we're frugivores, we're high fruit eaters, high carbohydrate eaters. So everybody was like hanging around and enjoying like having smoothies in the morning. We were up in the rising, I should say, up Doisy Tep, socializing with our smoothies. So that's just like quite like immature, very immature, and kind of like character attacking again. Don't really like that from Abby. Not much facts there. I mean, you don't want to fit in with sick people and how they eat, or you're going to be a sick one too.
And number 3, it's just sugar. It's just sugar on sugar on sugar. Even adding a spoonful of peanut butter or some oats in there, or some chickpeas or some avocado, that is really going to help to slow down the absorption so that you can actually have a much better blood sugar response.
Okay, so wow, she is simply uneducated on blood sugar, on the pancreas, on insulin. Do we have to like school her again? I've already done this in another video. Adding the peanut butter is actually going to cause you blood sugar disturbance. It's not going to be a benefit to you. The irony here is that eating a high-fat diet like Abby does can actually cause huge blood sugar spikes, like she likes to call it, due to the extra fat sludging up the bloodstream and impacting the hormone insulin's ability to escort the glucose from the blood into the cell. There's over 450 million diabetics in the world, while at the same time, the number 1 dietary risk factor for death is not eating enough fruit. So obviously, fruit has nothing to do with it. And that's why the Diabetes Association encourages people to eat fruit, because it doesn't spike blood sugar. Abby obviously doesn't understand the absolute basics of blood glucose here. So when we are talking glycemic index, it means the speed at which the glucose enters your bloodstream. So theoretically, whole grains like brown rice raise your blood sugar faster than bananas. We have the fiber in there. We have the fiber in that. That's the fiber and the water. It's important for your blood sugar. There's no problem at all. It gives you very stable blood sugar. And that's why my HbA1c test, my A1C test, which shows your average blood glucose over past 2 to 3 months, is excellent. I want to see yours, Abby. Put your money where your mouth is. Let's see your HbA1c test. Let's see your average blood glucose over the past 2 or 3 months. And even my fasting glucose is 4.6, I think it was, which is excellent. So she's completely wrong here. Okay, the science does not even back her up. Nothing backs her up here except her opinion. Fructose, which is a large component of fruit, obviously fruit sugar, doesn't require insulin in order to enter the cell. So it doesn't affect your blood sugar at all. Okay? Fructose is that freaking amazing. It just goes into the cell without any assistance from insulin. So your pancreas doesn't have to pump in more insulin. But it does when you have a high-fat diet like Abbey Sharp. She just, wow.
I mean, when you just drink sugar on sugar on sugar, you're going to spike your blood sugar so high, and your insulin is going to have to work so hard to keep up with it. Your pancreas is going to...
She does not get this at all, does she? Her diet is the one that spikes your blood sugar. Everything's inverted in this world, I'd say. Everything's the opposite.
I solely urge anyone who watches Freelee to speak to your doctor about some of the dangers of consuming just fruit all day.
Oh, well, speak to your doctor because they know about nutrition, right? You think your out of shape, unhealthy doctor knows about nutrition? These individuals are getting like hardly any education in nutrition during their degree and in medical school. And when they do get that education, guess what? It's just looking after the industry, meat and dairy industry. It's propaganda that they are taught. So she's just, don't listen to Abbey Sharp. If you're watching her videos, whoa, be careful.
Let's look at dinner. Oh, and she did say that the jackfruit was foraged by Mum. So that's very cute. Thanks, Mum, for...
Wow, Mum, my mum watches my videos every day. Mum, you got like a compliment there. You got the only basically positive thing I think that Abby has said in the video is about my mum. Lucky she didn't come at my mum, I'm telling you.
Foraging the jackfruit.
Gosh.
Last thing I'm going to eat today, I've got some dried jackfruit here, and I've got a head of cos lettuce. I like to make little jackfruit bites with lettuce. They're really tasty. And yeah, that's my
got
eating
some greens
day.
in there.
So if you found it helpful or interesting, don't forget to press the like button.
Let's just talk about the diet for 1 second. Honestly, this meal, jackfruit and lettuce, for 400 calories, I would be hella hangry after that. Of course, it's just more carbs.
She has no idea. She should be hangry after that. Did you see how much satisfying volume and carbohydrates I consume during the day? Do you really think you're going to be hangry after that day of eating? Abby.
Pointing to see, again, no protein, no fat going in.
There she goes again. No protein, no fat. I actually ate over 10 grams of fat for this day and over 43 grams of protein. So there she goes again. Like she's just speaking rubbish. Rubbish. She wants us to eat lamp oil. She thinks lamp oil, 100% refined fat, is actually healthy. She wants us to be on the coffee, on the lamp oil, on the supplements, just feeling horrible. And here I am, carving up my glycogen stores, feeling amazing, saying no to drugs, and she's shaming me on my food portions and just lying about it too.
I get that this is just what Freelee's eating on one particular Wednesday. I see 3 main red flags that are really bothering me that I want to talk about. Number one, it's really high in calories and completely unbalanced.
Wow, here she goes again. She is shaming another female adult for eating enough. She can see that I'm not out of shape. She can see I'm eating whole foods, and she's shaming me for eating enough. Talk about creating an ED. She is creating ED in women by saying this kind of thing. This is unacceptable. It's quite disgusting. I'm fueling myself sufficiently. Okay, so I can say no to drugs, say no to coffee. While you say yes, and you say yes to the wartime food, and the animal bits and pieces, which cause all sorts of disease, which contain parasites, which are, affecting a lot of people's health negatively and the animals' lives, obviously, innocent animals that want to live. Unacceptable, Abby.
So we're looking at 3,500 calories. And for most women, just depending on how, if they're really active, it's a different story. But for most women, that's a lot of calories.
And by the way, I was active. Why didn't she say that? Oh, Freelee is active, which is healthy. You have to be active on this day. Yeah, around 3,500. But on another day, I might have 2,500 or even 2,100. You know what I mean? Like, calories are not the problem here, Abby. Okay, it's where you're getting your calories from, the food source. So please stop shaming individuals for eating sufficient calories. Stop creating ED, please.
And it's just in sugar. It's no protein, no fats in there. So that's definitely not healthy. You're missing out on some serious nutrition there.
Oh gosh, I already worked it out. It has 43 grams of protein and it has like 11 grams of fat, which is more than enough. I'm feeling my best. My blood tests confirm this. I don't know what more I can say.
Number 2, Freelee is a vegan, and that's great. But I feel like she's giving vegans the wrong idea about how to do veganism in a healthy and sustainable and...
Hang on. How to do veganism. So look, veganism is an ethical lifestyle, a belief system about animals, okay? About freeing animals from the grips of humans like yourself, exploiting them, okay? That's what veganism is about. The diet aspect, that is up to the vegan, okay? Their belief is about liberating animals. So what they eat is up to them. And it's important to create healthy vegans. Okay. So that's why that's a big part of the reason I do actually educate myself on nutrition and show other human frugivores, how they're actually meant to be eating, and vegans as well, because over the last 14 years, I've seen a lot of plant eaters, let's call them. They want to call themselves vegans, but they're plant eaters go back from eating crap, from feeling crap, from getting crap results. I've seen it. I've been in this movement long enough. They're not going back because they're eating a lot of fruit, because they're eating healthy food for the human frugivore. They're going back because they're eating human engineered, like fake meats and, stuff that is just not meant to go in the human frugivore. Okay. It doesn't give anyone great results. So I don't know what she's talking about.
A nourishing way.
Nourishing?
I mean, this girl has no plant-based proteins in her diet, no healthy seeds or nuts or fats either.
Look, I do eat seeds and nuts. Nuts and seeds, it's the same thing. Okay, I do eat them, just not on this day. All right? And I do recommend you can have some nuts and seeds here and there. It's not crucial to your health, though. Okay? And she just said I have no fats and protein. Again, it's just like, keep saying it. It's wrong. It is completely wrong.
And so that's really just asking for a lot of nutrition deficiencies. And
wow. Nutritional deficiencies? Who's the one who has the actual blood test up? Who is the one who has blood tests up and who doesn't? Abby. Abby, where is your blood test? Please ask Abby, show us your blood test. Let's see who has the nutritional deficiencies. I don't have any nutritional deficiencies on this terrible diet, whole food diet for 14 years. Abby, let's see yours. And, she's just propped up on drugs and supplements. She's even supplementing, and I bet she has deficiencies even with her supplements.
As a dietitian, whenever I see something that is super restrictive like Freelee's diet, I start getting worried about disordered eating behaviors and
No, you don't. No, you don't. Don't even try and pretend to care, sister. Don't even try. And you know why I know she doesn't care? Because she's shaming me. She's shaming other females who have come from eating disorder even, shaming them about the amount of food they're eating. That's not someone who's caring. Now she's just putting on the pretending like I care hat. You know what I mean? She doesn't, or she wouldn't say, oh, wow, that's too much food. Oh, wow, you're overeating. She wouldn't say that. But she keeps saying it. And you can see that's obviously a problem. And let's talk about restriction. You know what's restrictive? Restriction is actually spending hours on the toilet trying to push out a dry torpedo because you're eating crap. That's restrictive. Eating in a way that is restricting your true self from blooming. Your true frugivore self. That's restrictive. I don't want to be restricted in my life like that. And that's why I'm eating the way that we are meant to and eating as closely as I can to a species-specific diet. It's like taking it's like taking a monkey. Say your friend brings home a monkey. Look, okay, that's not going to happen. Your friend brings home a monkey, adopt a monkey, that has close physiological resemblance to us, like a digestive system, like a bonobo. They're extremely similar, almost identical. And then your friend starts feeding that monkey, cooked foods, basically meat and dairy. Imagine you're feeding feeding that animal meat and dairy, oils, dry wartime food. Wouldn't you say to your friend, hang on, that monkey's meant to have fruit. What are you doing? Feed the monkey fruit. They're not meant to be eating all that crap, like just candy, refined like desserts and stuff like that. She has a whole lot of junk food. Your friend starts feeding the monkey that. What are you going? You're going to be like, wow, no, the monkey needs fruit, because we know primates are meant to be surviving off mainly fruit, just like humans. If we have like almost exactly the same digestive system as another animal, shouldn't we be eating similar to that animal? Right? And some of you might be like, oh, bonobos eat meat. Look, this has been observed. It's about, 2% or 3% or something of their diet. The rest is fruit and some greens. Okay, this has been observed in like these nature parks where they're not getting enough calories from fruit. Okay, when they're in a desperate situation, it's extremely rare, and the females almost never do it. It's when they're hungry. They're not in their natural habitat, thanks to us. We've destroyed that for them. So they get desperate. They're meant to subsist on fruits and greens and probably some nuts and seeds as well. That is their diet. And that's what our diet should be too. So yeah, you can see that's crazy.
Habits. I mean, I can't speak for Freelee's experience, but I can say that for somebody who's watching this, who maybe is already at risk for disordered eating, this might be a huge.
So one thing that I have noticed over the years is this is kind of like an excuse for some individuals to drop the lifestyle. Oh, this is going to trigger my ED and everything like that. No, this is actually the way to heal it. And I have testimonial after testimonial after testimonial. It's just like endless testimonials of women healing their ED on this lifestyle. Okay, because you get nourished. But a lot like that Madeline Olivia, she will use the excuse like, oh, it's going to trigger my ED. It's like, no, you just dropped your standards. And now you're using that as an excuse not to go back and to trash the lifestyle. And we'll be talking about that. But yeah, you get nourished. So then you don't feel like binging. You don't feel like restricting. You feel satisfied because you're eating a species-specific diet. So anyway, I'm going to leave it there, and you can see what's going on here. Abbey-not-so-sharp is propped up on drugs. She's having synthetic supplements. She's eating lamp oil. She's eating animal bits and pieces. She recommends and eats class 1 carcinogens, food that is full of parasites. It's just, her diet is crap, okay? She's having a whole lot of processed junk food desserts instead of having fruit, instead of having whole foods. She's, getting addicted to the crap. a whole lot of human engineered foods. And she's shaming me, another female adult who's eating sufficiently to fuel herself. And you can see who's slim and fit. She's shaming me about my food portions as a dietitian. This is insane. You know, I'm not drugging myself, so I'm eating sufficiently. Like, that's the reason I can stay away from the drugs. There is fat and protein, adequate amino acids, fatty acids. That's just her lack of education. She's fearing people away from eating whole foods. Fructose doesn't require insulin in order to get into cell. It does not have any issue for your blood sugar eating this way. Show us your HbA1c test, Abby. Show us your blood test in general. You can see what's going on, right? She's clueless. She is clueless. And I think it's unacceptable. She's shaming other women for eating enough. Okay. And also all the ad hominems that she put in were kind of weird and had nothing to do with my diet. Anyway, tell Abby I made this video. I want to hear her response, but she would never respond because she knows that this is just a business move for her. She doesn't actually know about nutrition. She did a course 7-8 years ago, a decade ago or something, and she just uses that title to act like she knows what she's talking about when she doesn't. All right. Don't forget to go through yourself, and I'll see you soon.